Last night, as I flipped through the battered pages of the library book I borrowed on a whim, a detail caught my eye that shouldn't have been there, a chapter named after my birthday, recounting events from my own childhood with unsettling accuracy. I almost laughed it off, until I realized the book's title was my full name, and the author was listed as unknown. The urge to keep reading was overwhelming, as if the words themselves reached out and tugged at my nerves. I convinced myself it was a prank, a strange coincidence, but deep down, a knot of dread began tightening in my stomach. The chapters chronicled my life in uncanny detail, describing moments I'd never shared with anyone, the scar on my ankle from falling off my bike, the time I hid in the neighbor's shed during a storm, even the name of my childhood pet I'd long forgotten. I couldn't stop. Each turn of the page felt like a trap, but I had to know how it ended. That's when I saw the final chapter's title, The Last Night. My hands trembled as I realized today's date was printed in the margin, and the clock on my wall ticked closer to midnight. I read on, heart hammering, as the chapter described me sitting in my apartment, hunched over this very book, the air heavy and silent except for the distant hum of the city below. It detailed the way my breath would quicken as I reached the last page, how I'd hear footsteps outside my door, slow and deliberate, growing closer. The words blurred as my eyes darted to the door, where a shadow pulled beneath the threshold, exactly as described in the text. As the final line formed on the page, "He looks up as the doorknob turns." I felt the air shift behind me. My own reflection stared back from the darkened window, but something else moved in my periphery. I tried to close the book, but my hands wouldn't obey. The last words burned in my mind. He realizes, too late, that the story isn't finished, because it's still being written. And just as the doorknob began to turn, I understood, the story only ends when it do.